Hello, adventurers. My name is Mystic Michael. Today begins the hopefully fun, interesting series that is the Road to Heroic Completionist. It's a new series in which I want to create a character build for each class. A lot of the builds will focus on going from level 1 to 30, not really staying at level cap, or I guess 1 to 32 if you want to. Fun builds, classes I've never played, builds I've never done. Exciting for me, hopefully exciting for you. First one on the chopping block today is the Bearbarian. Let's hop into it. Classic Bearbarian build, 18 druid, 2 barbarian. We're going to pick the half orc race I've never done, for the extra 2 strength. So our stats are 18 strength, 8 dex, 18 con, 8 int, 15 wisdom, and 6 charisma. Higher wisdom for your spells and spell points. I'm assuming that each of these builds will be 36 points, that you have a couple past lives under your belt, so we have those extra points. Every level up is going to be into strength. This is a strength 2-handed Bearbarian. Skills I chose: heal for the extra heal, spell power, intimidate to pull enemies off of more squishier friends, and then use magic device if you have extra points in that. Class and feat progression. First one is druid, then level 2 and level 3 are barbarian, and then the rest is druid. Some of the feats I chose: you want to focus on natural fighting. You can take this multiple times, so I took it 6, 9, and 15. Basically, these stats stack for every time you pick it up. So in bear form, you gain 50% strike through chance the first time you take it, and an additional 30% each subsequent time, 110% with all 3 feats. And then you get your ability score modifier damage increase when 2-handed fighting in bear form as well. So that's your main fighting style, with eventually taking perfect natural fighting in the epics. I also pick up a lot of toughnesses because I didn't really know what else to take. Picked up weapon focus, power critical, of course the improved critical slashing for double the threat range. Crush weakness, damage versus the helpless, which is great. Picked up Harbinger of Chaos. Eventually we'll look into the epic Destinies. There's an ability that goes off of this feat. It does seem odd. Picked up the Scion of Orberia for the extra melee power, and then I just took legendary toughness. The first wild shape I chose was wolf. You get extra attack speed and extra movement speed, which is very good for those early levels, and then you get bear at level 7, and then dire bear at level 10. You get extra defenses, and then like +4 constitution, extra AC, some great stuff. All right, let's take a look at the enhancements. First enhancement you want to get is the blood tribute out of the frenzied berserker barbarian tree. This adds temporary hit points every time you hit it, 150 points at rank 3. Really useful during the epic levels because it adds 25 hit points per epic level. So level 30 you get 400 temporary hit points. Sprint boost, which isn't necessary at the beginning, but once I hit like level 12 or so, that's usually when I pick it up. Power rage, extra +3 strength while raging. Hardy rage, +3 constitution while raging. So those are the barbarian tree. This is why you need 2 levels of barbarian. The main tree you'll focus in is the nature's protector tree. This has the nature's defensive stance, extra PRR, MMR, and of course PRR, MMR for the tree, and some saves. This is like the paladin tree or the fighter tree, if you're familiar with those. You also get heavy armor proficiency by level 6, which is useful. And then at tier 5, Force of Nature. Tier 3, you can wear metal armor or shields. So you can wear that heavy armor from Sharn, which is great. You get Bear Charge, which is like a dire charge, charge your enemies. Savage Roar is like an AoE stun, which is kind of cool. Once you have 2 stacks, you can cast Roar, which is one of your spells, and has a potential to stun all your enemies. If you don't want to take 2 levels of Barbarian, you rather take the Capstone. You do get Rage of the Beast, which is basically your rage that you would use for all your abilities that you have. We'll also be in the Nature's Warrior tree Flight here is a very cool enhancement. This gives an uncapped 20% dodge bonus for 10, 20, or 30 seconds depending on the ranks. I pick up double strike because of this. We can hit 100% double strike with all of our abilities, which is cool. I like taking Fatal Harrier. This grants you 5% enchantment bonus to attack speed for 20 seconds. This can stack up to 5 times if you have tier 3. It seemed to be really helpful. Seemed to be really awesome. Moving over to Epic Destinies, we're going to focus on a Fairy of the Wild, taking 42 points. You're going to spend almost all your points here. The Epic Strike that I use, of course, is Adrenaline. At rank 3, you get a 16% bonus to your threat range, so it's almost an automatic critical hit. Super fun to see the 10,000, 15,000 number appear. The mantle that we'll actually use is over in Primal Avatar, and that is Thorn. This can proc on any melee attack, and it has a chance to do acid force or poison damage, which is cool. If you have enough points, you can take the Shard Storm, which is kind of like the tank ability, creates these 6 poison acid shards that strike your enemy randomly. And then if you have even more points, the Body Boon, 2 points gets you +2 strength, dex, and constitution. Super helpful. But back in the Fairy of the Wild tree, Primal Scream, you get a morale bonus to strength, constitution. Voice of the Fury, this ability doubles that Primal Scream, so you get +4 instead, which is great. I take the double strike enhancements. I take Unquenchable Rage, reduce all damage by 15% for 6 seconds if you have rank 3. Also cast a heal spell on you, which is just convenient when you run out of rage and you get exhausted, and you just cast rage again and it just heals you, and it's convenient, it's useful. Scarred by Chaos. This is why we took the Harbinger of Chaos feat. You get 50 hit points and 10 PRR, and then doubled if you have the feat, so 100 hit points and 20 PRR. Pretty useful. The Epic Moment, of course, you get 1000 unconsciousness range, 100% strike through, heal for hit points. Pretty fun. Great leveler. Again, another ability that does 6W and +16 critical threat range, so bunch of critical hits in this tree, and then 5% primal bonus to hit points. Fury of the Wild for your Epic Destiny. Quick look at gear that I focused on, seems pretty achievable, is the Part of the Family set, and then the Adherent of the Mist set. Of course, you can take both of these at the heroic levels and the legendary levels. I just picked out the level 29 legendary gear. So of course, for Part of the Family, we're using the Enforcer's Plate. The heavy armor, we're using the Family Recruit Sigil, and we're using the Hammer Fist to get those 3. And then Inherent of the Mist, I use Mantle of Fury for the Constitution. I use the Bracers of the Fallen Hero for Strength and Insightful Constitution. Those are the 2 big ones. I use the Ruby Ring for Accuracy, Destinies Fire Sash for Vitality, honestly. I like using the Arcsteel Brim because you get Insightful Magical Sheltering and the regular Magical Sheltering, and plus Will Save. And then somewhere in here you want to have a Wisdom item to have more spell casting capabilities, but this is a basic example of a gear set. For spells, we have a plethora to pick from. There's basically every level there's a bear specific attack, so we have kind of Maul at level 1. For the enhancement tree, you get access to Great Maul. Roar, for one of the enhancements, the Savage Roar, basically once you have 3 stacks, even 2 stacks, you can potentially stun all these targets, so really cool in the early levels where you get a couple stacks and then you just stun all the enemies and crit and hurt them. Shred, which is cool, cuts armor class. Rising Fury, really fun to have. It's a short little cooldown, but basically every time an enemy hits you, you get +2 morale bonus to strength and constitution that stacks up to 5 times, so it's an easy +10 strength and constitution. Super awesome. Tremor, you attack enemies and they could be potentially tripped. Relentless Onslaught, knock your target down, 5W, which is cool. And then Unstoppable, which I didn't really use that much because it just gets you extra hit points and some extra damage. Didn't feel as useful, or I just didn't understand it as much as I thought I should. You get access to Heal, Mass Regenerate, which is great, Mass Greater Vigor, and then of course you can Reincarnate. your resurrection ability. So a lot of great spells, just a bunch of spell slots you can pick from. So pick and choose, play around with it. It's a lot of fun. So this was a basic look at the Bearbarian. I've never played it before until I built it last life. It was really fun. It was really tanky. You can see that you get some really cool critical hits, smashing for 10,000, 15,000 damage, and it's just fun being a giant bear. Tanky, survivable, really fun through heroics. Feels like it falls off a tiny bit in the epics, but that could be just me too. But it's still fun. Still a lot of fun to play. So I hope you enjoy this build. It's going to be posted on the forums, and in the description below will be the link to the DDO Builder file here as well. So thanks for watching. See you next build.